Welcome to a demonstration of Sonolux, our luxury ultra-modern table for ultrasonographic scanning. Our design is based on the results of an extensive user survey. As a result, we have been able to incorporate in Sonolux features not found in any existing ultrasonography scan table. Every feature of Sonolux contributes to the physical and mental relaxation of the patient and the sonographer. This concern springs into action right from the word go. At rest position, the table stands 640 mm above the floor level. This allows both obese and short-statured patients to get on and off the table without any strain or external assistance. As the table is 1981 millimeters long, it can also accommodate individuals as tall as 6.5 feet. The tabletop is divided into Fowler back, pelvic area, and lower body section with provision for independent and synchronized movements. The table functions in the following steps. The patient to be scanned gets on the table. Instead of asking the patient to lie down by lowering the upper body, the sonographer raises the Fowler back. The patient reclines on the raised section. The sonographer lowers that section to be level with the lower body. With this, the patient will be lying straight and flat on the table. The sonographer raises the table with the patient to the height at which the strain on his or her shoulder and forearm holding the transducer probe will be minimal. Now, the patient and the sonographer are ready for an abdomen scan. Thoracic scans require bringing the upper body of the patient to a position lower down the table. With all existing tables, the patient has to slide down the table. This downward movement inevitably leads to a posture in which the patient's knees, calf muscles, and feet will be dangling over the edge of the table. This downward movement inevitably leads to a posture in which the patient's knees, calf muscles, and feet will be dangling over the lower edge of the table. The downward movement and the dangling legs put undue strains on the patient. For the first time in the history of scan tables, Sonolux allows the whole tabletop to slide horizontally. The sonographer can control the movement of the tabletop and arrest it precisely at the best vantage point for thoracic scans. Since the entire tabletop moves with the patient on it, the lower legs of the patient will not dangle awkwardly from the edge, and the patient will not have to change his or her supine position. The lithotomy position is the correct posture for endovaginal scan. To achieve this position, the pelvic region has to be raised high enough for it to be amenable to sonographer's maneuvers with the transducer probe. Conventional ultrasonographic scan tables require the sonographer to use cushions or pillows to obtain the desired pelvic lift. This posture causes the patient's knees to crunch and strains her pelvic muscles, which can be especially uncomfortable for pregnant women. In contrast, Sonolux is able to lift the pelvic section independently and allow the sonographer to give the right degree of pelvic lift without straining the patient. Sonolux arrives at lithotomy in 3 easy steps. The patient gets on the table and assumes a reclining position against the raised Fowler back. The patient raises her knees and plants her feet on the lower section of the table. The pelvic section is raised and the Fowler back is simultaneously adjusted to let the patient assume lithotomy without knee crunching. In this position, the patient's legs form an arch. This arch allows the sonographer to access the pelvic region and move the transducer probe without hindrance. The following features of Sonolux make it an attractive option for your purchase of a new ultrasonographic scan table. Sonolux affords a relaxing experience to both the patient and the sonographer. Sonolux reduces the movements the patient is required to make to the bare minimum. Sonolux enables the sonographer to position the table at points that are most comfortable to him or her, thus preventing possible occupational hazards like shoulder stress. Any diagnostic procedure, by its very nature, is stressful. At Innova Prodesigns Private Limited, we try our best to reduce the stress in diagnosis. Sonolux is a prime example of our continued commitment to this principle. This commitment is built into Sonolux as it is into our other biomedical engineering products.